Welcome everybody to the virtual career fair. I am Amy Stainhook from DMAC and I have Samantha on the line with me, and she is an athletic trainer at Des Moines Area Community College. So welcome Samantha, thanks for taking time today to talk with us. And I'd like to just start out by asking you to introduce yourself, who you work for again, and a little bit about your educational background, if you would. So take it over.
Okay. Like she said, my name is Samantha Bush. I am the athletic trainer for Des Moines Area Community College in Boone. All of our athletics are located on the Boone campus, so that's where I work out of. I am actually also the athletic trainer for Ogden High School, and I do a wellness program for the city of Boone employees. So my actual full-time job is hired out of, it's called Boone Rehabilitation Services, and we're located in the Boone County Hospital. That's our physical therapy department for the Boone County Hospital. So I'm actually contracted out to DMAC, Ogden, and then the city of Boone to do all different types of things within my career field. So I started at Boone Rehab in 2011, which I started with Ogden right away then. And then I started at DMAC in 2013. And I think I started teaching for DMAC in 2014. And then I picked up the wellness program for the city of Boone in 2000. I don't know remember if it was 18. I think it was 2018 because it's been more than a year now. So to the fall of 2018, I picked that up. So I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything.
Fantastic. Yeah, you are busy.
Yeah. Yes.
And so how did you get to where you are today? Tell us a little bit about where you went to school, the program that you did, and what that was like for you.
So I actually went to UNI. I'm from Cedar Falls originally, and so UNI just seemed like a good fit. I went there and got my 4-year degree in athletic training. After I got my degree, you have to sit for a board examination. So I'm actually board certified, nationally board certified and state licensed as an athletic trainer. So I did 4 years at UNI, and I actually did 2 years of internship programs outside of the state. Before I moved back and decided to kind of settle down here back in Iowa with my now husband. So I actually was in Indiana for a year, and while I was out there, my head athletic trainer encouraged me to look into a master's program. So I actually ended up doing my master's in health promotion and exercise science with a focus in rehab sciences. Through, it's kind of a long name, but it's California University of Pennsylvania. They have an on-campus program, and then they have a full online master's program. So I was able to do my master's while I was working full-time. So that was kind of nice to be able to be making money and still be able to get my next level of degree. And then I ended up moving to Louisiana after that and worked at a Division III college. So while I was in Indiana, I worked at a military boarding academy. Actually, it was like a college prep school. And then when I went to Louisiana, I worked at a Division III college. And then I moved back here and started with Boone Rehab in 2011. So I graduated in 2009 and did the 2 years of internships, and then ended up back here in 2011. So. Okay.
So you touched on it a little bit, but is athletic training now a master's level degree?
It is now. When I was in school, it was a bachelor's level. It actually, I think this is the last year that kids can graduate from a bachelor level program. It's either 2020 or 2021. I'm sorry, I can't recall, but moving forward, it's going to be an all master's level program. So you'll have to have a 4-year bachelor's degree. You really can do it in anything science related. As an athletic trainer, I'm really encouraging kids to do like exercise science or kinesiology or something with some kind of exercise style background where you're getting some of that physiology knowledge, and you're getting the anatomy classes and things like that to really set you up to get into the master's program for athletic training. The master's program, it moves very quickly now. They do 1 whole year of education and then 1 whole year of like observation and rotations where they get hands-on experience in the different athletic training fields with different athletic trainers.
Sure.
So, I mean, I encourage kids, like I said, you can do a biology background, you can do anything really, and get into an athletic training program. But I personally encourage kids to do some kind of exercise science or kinesiology, so they get that physiology and exercise background prior to going into athletic training.
Good. Good to know. Um, so give us some information on some other types of careers that are maybe related to athletic training. Um, and if there are any differences in the educational background, if you could talk to that briefly.
Okay. I kind of want to touch on the job fields for athletic training because it kind of rolls together. So athletic training has really expanded into, I'm sure a lot of kids understand, like, yeah, it's in the pros, it's in the college, it's in the high school level, but it's really expanded into like theater and dance. Dance companies have athletic trainers, NASCAR, NASA, the military all have athletic trainers on staff now. I actually just saw something where the military is expanding their athletic training program over the next 5 years, to start having civilian athletic trainers on staff all the time, so that their military personnel can be taken care of. And I like to talk about those because it overlaps a lot. Actually, one of the sections I teach in my class is on sports medicine professionals, because we all work together as a team. So I have classmates that went on to become physician assistants, physical therapists, occupational therapists. We have one that went to med school and actually became a doctor. So, I mean, really having that athletic training and sports background can open you up to a whole realm of different healthcare related fields. I know a lot of athletic trainers that are athletic trainers and physical therapy assistants. So they don't have to go an extra 3 years to get their physical therapist degree. They can do a 2-year associate's program, and then they still get to do the clinic side of it, where they have the clinic hours, but they also can get out and do the athletic training stuff on the side. So I think really understanding that relationship with sports medicine professionals is really good for people to know. Nutritionists, biomechanics, prosthetics and orthotics. We work with all of those people as athletic trainers. And so really using your athletic training background to get into something like that would be really good as well.
Yeah, thank you. That's great advice. What do you love about your job? And then on the flip side, what are some of the challenges about your job as an athletic trainer?
It's kind of cliche, but I really love the relationships that I build. I have, probably 400 student athletes between the high school and college that I'm the only athletic trainer for. So I really get to know these kids really well. And that actually is probably the most fun, that and my coaches, getting to build those relationships with my coaches, especially at the high school level, because typically at the high school level, if they're coaching high school, they stick around for a while. It's not something, there's some, because I work at a smaller school, so it's not a revolving door. So I get to know the coaches really well. I get to know the parents really well. So that's probably, that side of it's probably my favorite. Obviously, seeing my kids compete and do well is probably one of my other favorite parts of it. It's really fun and rewarding for me to see an athlete who was injured, worked their butt off, got back from rehab, and goes in and scores the game-winning basket or makes a big play on the football field, or, something like that. It's fun to see them get back to the level of competition that they want to be at. So I really enjoy that as well. On the flip side, some of the challenges are also kind of the relationships, because there's some people that just are harder to work with than others, which is natural in every job category. But coaches really obviously want their athletes there to compete. So getting them to understand where you're coming from, why you're pulling an athlete out, things like that, and getting them to trust you can be really difficult. And to be quite honest, the other hard part of it is probably the hours. You figure you have to be at every practice, you have to be at every game. If people are practicing at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, you're there with them. Thankfully, at my level, DMAC doesn't require me to do that as far as practice is concerned. I'm on call, which is really tough because I'm really on call 24/7. I mean, I get phone calls from coaches and athletes all hours of the day if I'm not on campus. So that's probably one of the other harder parts, because you figure games, just for an idea, like I have a volleyball game tonight. I won't get home until probably 9:30. I have a football game tomorrow night, and I won't get home until probably between 10 and 11. And then I have a basketball scrimmage on Saturday. So sometimes you're also giving up your weekends. But if you really love it and really get into it and really build those relationships, giving up that time really isn't that big of a deal. It's something that I've really become accustomed to. My husband understands it, and I really love spending time with my athletes. So even though it's a challenge, it's fun.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I think so often, kids are asked, well, what do you want to do with your life? And lifestyle is definitely part of that decision. And
Yes.
so every career or every profession lends a different lifestyle. And certainly for those that are familiar with athletics, they don't happen within the time frame of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And so
it's as early as 5 a.m. some days when we have weightlifting sessions, and it's all different hours of the day and weekend. And with COVID this year specifically, we're actually all of our sports are playing at the same time this spring for DMAC. Every single sport is going to be going in full competitive season except cross country. So 7 out of our 9 athletic teams will be competing from mid-January until June.
You will be busy.
So and we always play on Wednesdays and Saturdays for conference, but we have volleyball and basketball competing at the same time, so they can't both compete on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So now I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So, we're even going to give up some Sundays this year to be with our athletes. And that's just something that nobody can control with COVID. But typically Sundays aren't an athletic style of day, but this year they will be. So it just depends on your lifestyle. So
well, good luck this spring. What advice do you have for young people who are looking to explore this field, or perhaps know that they want to get into this field? What would you tell them?
I highly recommend going out and job shadowing. Job shadow athletic trainers in the high school setting, in the college setting, and in different college settings if you can. We're lucky enough in Midwest Iowa to have NAIA, D3, D1, junior college. Get out there and experience what it is they're doing, because every job for athletic trainers is a little different. Like I said, I get to go and do some city wellness stuff where I get to sit one-on-one and talk to people about how they're doing, how they're feeling, what things they're going through physically, if we can work on anything for them. So it's just, every job setting is just a little bit different. Working with high school kids is different than working with college athletes, because they're, high school athletes, a lot of them are just there for fun and to be with their friends, but college athletes are there to compete. So really my biggest advice is, one, if you know for sure you want to do it, commit to it. Commit to that lifestyle, commit to understanding, commit to learning. And if you're not for sure that you want to do it, get out and job shadow. We have hundreds, actually more than I even realized before I moved here, athletic trainers across the state of Iowa. And we have huge athletic training programs in Ames and Des Moines, huge. I'm not the only athletic trainer, around. We actually have 2 athletic trainers on staff in Boone through my clinic. So that's kind of exciting. But McFarland has a huge athletic training program. Select Physical Therapy has a huge athletic training program. So people aren't just getting in with specific schools. They're going through clinics too. So get out there and job shadow and make sure it's something you really want to commit to. Because like you kind of said, it's not just a profession, it's really a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And kind of along those lines, are there certain skills, personalities that you see if people are successful in this field that they have?
I really feel like you have to be open to communication. You can't be somebody that takes criticism really hard, because you're going to get criticized by athletes, by parents, by coaches, on what your decisions are. You have to be somebody that really can stick to your guns, really know what it is that you're talking about, and protect and advocate for your athletes. So I really think somebody with that kind of open and communicative personality, somebody that I like to say, like, somebody that has a big heart but doesn't take things too hard. Like, they really care about their athletes, want the best for them, want them to be safe, but aren't so tenderhearted that they're going to get their feelings hurt every time somebody criticizes them for something. Um, and to be honest with you, as an athletic trainer, you're going to be wrong. So you have to be able to take those. I mean, there's a number of times where I told an athlete, I don't think anything's wrong, but we're going to send you to the doctor and get it checked out. And something comes back and it's torn and it's a season ending injury. And I'm like, oh, well, sorry. So you just have to be able to take the good with the bad. Open communication is key. And then understanding that people are going to argue with you, and you're going to double guess yourself. And so just being confident and open to communication and open to learning all the time, I think, are some key personality factors to be successful.
And I would think as a high school student, perhaps it'd be important to study, take your science classes, see if those interest you, right?
Yeah.
Any other courses that you'd recommend taking in the exploration phase?
Actually, I knew I wanted to do athletic training as a high school senior. So that was really helpful for me. It really moved my career along quite quickly. And that was because I got in with my high school athletic trainer, and he kind of pointed me in the direction of what I should be doing. Literally my senior year, I took every health class known to man that I could take at my high school. I took nutrition, I took a health physiology course, I took anatomy and physiology at the high school level. Anything that you can get into to really start exploring the anatomy and physiology and movement sciences of the human body is something that can be really important. Because if you get in and you realize, gosh, I really struggle, I really don't enjoy learning about this stuff, it kind of saves you from that in the long run. But I was the other way. I got into those classes and fell in love with them. It was something I wanted to study, something I wanted to learn about, and it really solidified, yes, this is what I want to do with my life. And so it made it move forward a lot faster for me. Because like I said, once I knew in high school that's what I wanted to do, it all fell right into place because I was able to walk right in and start my program like I wanted. So any anatomy, like I said, movement sciences, if your school is one that does it combined with junior colleges, look into, I actually teach an intro to anatomy and physiology for coaching through DMAC online, and high school students are able to take that. It's only an 8-week course. But they learn some of the movement sciences through that, the importances of like cooling down and warming up, stuff like that. So you can also actually take an introduction to athletic training course online through DMAC as well. We have a couple other athletic trainers that teach that intro course. And so that might be a good place for that high school students can take it as a part of their high school and college credit. And that might be a good place for them to start too, just to get some understanding about what it is and what we do.
Great advice. Okay, final question, unless you've got other things to add, but what is the job outlook for this field in your opinion?
In my personal opinion, I feel like it's pretty incredible. When I started, everybody talked about the college level athletic trainer. Everybody strived. I think every single person at some point in my class strived to be a professional athletic trainer for a professional athlete team. Whether it was football, baseball, basketball, whatever, they didn't care. I honestly think that most athletic trainers my age that graduated around the same time would be false if they said that wasn't at some point their job career outlook, including myself. I wanted to work professional baseball so bad, and now I have no desire to work professional sports now the older I get. So really, I think the outlook is really good because like I said, we've expanded into so many different professions as far as dance and theater companies, like I said, NASA, NASCAR, military, industry fields. There's actually a lot of industrial fields that are hiring athletic trainers for the company to take care of their workman comp cases instead of sending them to physical therapy. So the athletic trainers actually do the full clinical evaluation, do the full rehab, and release them back to work when they're healthy. So, the fields are just growing at an exponential rate. And I really think that opening our program up as a master's instead of a bachelor's degree will really help open that field up even further because we're even that much more educated coming out of college than we were in the past. So I just think the job outlook is very good. A couple of places they can look. NATA, it's National Athletic Trainers Association. So nata.org has all sorts of job outlook research that they do, salary outlook research that they do. I think they do salary surveys every 2 or 3 years to kind of get the median and things like that. And then the other one is bocatc.org, and that's Board of Certification. That's their website. And they have tons and tons of information on there on job outlook, and same thing on salary and education, different programs, continuing education, so you can continue to move forward with what you're learning. So those are 2 really great resources to look into if you're interested in athletic training. They have tons and tons of information out there for athletic trainers or people that are interested in it. So.
Great. Well, Samantha, I've really enjoyed listening to you, talking with you a little bit today. Really appreciate your time. And unless you have anything else to add, I think we'll wrap up our session.
Oh, I think that's it. Sorry, I was looking at my notes real quick. I think that's it. Sorry, I kind of went above and beyond some of the questions, but it's something I really enjoy and really love. And if anybody ever has any questions or wants to job shadow, I'm always willing and open. Like I said, I'm at a couple different levels. I know an athletic trainer at Simpson. I know an athletic trainer at a bigger high school. And then there's huge programs in the Des Moines and Ames area that we can get people into job shadow as well. So you can email me through DMAC anytime, and I'd love to set up job shadowing opportunities if you ever hear about any.